And DJ Pickett is the guy caught in the middle. You mentioned his comments. Let's hear a little bit from DJ Pickett regarding his position on number 5.
About the number situation, I wore the number my whole life since I was 4 years old. It was a number I was promised. And I wish Jayden the best. Good player, and he did real good here, so that's all.
Well, he didn't wear it his whole life. He wore number 3 last year. So there is one small caveat, one small asterisk.
That's right.
You didn't wear it your whole life.
Yeah.
You wish you'd worn it your whole life.
You wanted to.
You're going to wear it most of your life. And, it is strange. And you touched on the point I made yesterday. The number inherently dehumanizes the player, but the player allows the number to become part of the player's humanity. It's a strange circular reality, right? Why do we have numbers?
Yeah.
Because that's the quick and easy way to distinguish one player from another. But that number becomes so much of what's in the player's mind as to who he is as a person. It's really a unique and unusual dynamic, and the attachment that is made to the numbers. And look, there were some comments from his dad to the New Orleans Advocate. They're disappointed that this is all happening. They're caught in the middle. And as I said earlier, maybe he starts thinking about transferring somewhere else. Although, as much as we'd love to have him up the road in Morgantown, Pat White's number 5 is getting retired. First game of the season. So, DJ, can't get number 5 here. Number 5's off limits.
Well,
until they have to promise it to a recruit at some point down the road. Until we hire Brian Kelly to be the coach. Brian Kelly may be the coach of West Virginia after Rich Rodriguez, and we may have to promise number 5 and then not give it, but then after Brian Kelly's gone, honor the promise. What a freaking a freaking mess. Good for our business, but it's bad for everyone involved.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. And if you're Jayden Daniels, it really must make you cringe when a teenager can take the high road. The teenager takes the high road and says, hey, Jayden, good player. What? Wait a minute. He's in the pros. He was like, he's just a good player. He's where you want to be. But he says, Jayden, good player, but I've got the number. When the teenager makes more sense and is more, just has a more of a sobering statement than what we saw from the Daniels camp. That's one. But 2, Mike, what happened last year? So did he get number 3? How did he accept number 3 for a year before he got 5? What was he promised there? Like, did they have to pay him off to wear 3 for a year? Hey, you'll get number 5. Just got to wait a year. We'll give you a little bit more in your NIL package. And then next year, 2026, we'll kind of slide you in there at number 5. Or did he go to Lane Kiffin and say, hey, I was promised 5 and time's up. Like, how did they get there? And as we think about that question, doesn't it make you think, Mike, about college recruiting? We already know about NIL and how much certain positions cost, but I think it's deeper than that. You got to come up with the right money, and you got to come up with some perks that maybe you didn't really think were important to kids, but they are.
I think it's all very simple, and we've all been there and we've done that at some point in our lives, or we've witnessed this in a workplace. And you saw DJ Pickett yesterday. He's a young guy. He's soft-spoken, and he makes the commitment to come to LSU. He shows up thinking, I'm getting number 5. Haven't we all been in a spot where we showed up for something where we were heavily recruited, they made us feel wanted, they made us feel welcomed, they made us feel loved, and we show up and it's stunning when they renege on a promise. When you were led to believe one thing and you show up and it's different, and you've got this coach who's got the personality and, he's got the football coach vibe, and you defer to your coach. That's what football players do. So the coach says, well, there was a problem, number 5. But look, number 3 looks good. Number 3's fine. He had an old number. Now you got a new number. So Brian Kelly found a way to smooth it all over. Then Brian Kelly's fired. Lane Kiffin shows up. And my guess is, based upon the comments I saw from Damian Pickett, DJ's father, my guess is Damian may have called someone up after the season and said, hey, this is bullshit. Sorry, London. He was promised number 5.
Right.
And I got the impression that because I caught wind of this whole thing just before ESPN dropped the story at 11:30 on Wednesday night, I got the impression that this may have been baked into his NIL deal. Either it was before or it was after the first season, and they had to give him number 5. So we've all been there. You gave me a flashback. I got recruited to go work at a law firm in the summertime when I was in law school. And they brought out their closer. And he buddied up to me, and we were like hanging out, and, you know, and I got the impression if I go work there, I'm going to be like, you know, his protege, and he's going to show me the ropes, and I really like this guy. And so I accepted the offer. And when I showed up, the guy acted like he didn't even freaking know me. It was jarring. I was 24 years old, and I'm thinking I picked this job because this guy persisted and led me to believe that we're going to be like Batman and Robin, and he's going to teach me all his tricks, and he's going to help me grow into a lawyer. And it's like he had amnesia. And I remember that feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I decided at that point I will never work for this firm again. I almost left during the summer when I was there. Almost quit.
How long did you stay?
It poisons the relationship. I finished the summer. But I explored jumping to another firm. The other firm that was recruiting me for that summer, I almost jumped to them for the second half of the summer, but at the end of the day I decided too many moving parts for a summer job. But here we are 36 years later. I still remember it. And so those things are jarring. When you're young and you're impressionable and you feel like you've been lied to during a recruiting process, you want to make it right. I do not fault DJ Pickett. DJ Pickett is the least to blame. He has no blame. Brian Kelly, most blame. DJ Pickett, no blame. And the problem is Jayden Daniels blew up Brian Kelly's spot by making this an issue. And by doing so, he became the villain. Jayden Daniels became the villain. We all should be saying this is Brian Kelly's fault.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because it still comes back to, look, I feel like ultimately, Jayden Daniels, you're with Washington now. LSU is a part of your past. It was fun. You won a Heisman. It elevated him to a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. So LSU served its purpose for Jayden Daniels, but that's, we're not thinking about college anymore. Jayden, let's move on from that. So I would say that's my only criticism is look forward. But if you point out, as you pointed out, a broken promise does make you feel some kind of way. And so DJ Pickett got a broken promise, and so did Jayden Daniels. We just look at it and say we're more critical of Jayden Daniels because I guess he's the older guy. He's the pro versus the college kid. He's supposed to have greater ambitions now that he's left Baton Rouge. But still, these are 2 players who were promised something, and we may not understand it, but they were promised something that was important to them, and that promise was broken. You're right. It's back to Brian Kelly. It's all on Brian Kelly.
Recognizing the fact that it all hit the fan for Jayden Daniels yesterday by virtue of the statement issued by a spokesperson to ESPN on his and his family's behalf, Jayden Daniels went to Instagram and said, because the argument is, don't you have better things to worry about? You're the quarterback of the Commanders. It's a critical 3rd season. Why are you worried about this? Said Jayden Daniels, I have been locked in on training camp, and that's been my number 1 focus. I have a lot of gratitude for my time at LSU, and I'm proud of what my teammates and I accomplished there. Obviously, there are issues to be worked out between my team and LSU, and my hope is that it will get done privately. My sole personal focus is on Commanders football. I realize the business of football is unique, and I trust this can be resolved. Well, you may hope that it's resolved privately, but when you have a spokesperson speaking to a public media outlet, Jayden, it's not going to be resolved privately. It's now one big ugly mess.
Where's Mike?
And
Where's Jayden Daniels' sense of humor? He should have ended that Instagram post with a picture of him wearing number 5 with LSU. Come on, keep it going. Now we got a story. I don't know.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.